our Shrimad Bhagwatam class, systematic study of Shrimad Bhagwatam class. We have finished chapter 4 so far, and today we will begin chapter 5, where Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagwatam for Vyasadeva is described. So before that, we will do our Mangalacharan prayer, and then we will begin our lesson number. We begin with lesson number 24 today, in which we will learn about Narada's inquiries and Vyasadeva's response for them. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tuse Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So today we'll begin new chapter, chapter number 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagwatam for Vyasadeva, and lesson number 24, in which we will cover 9 verses today. So in text 1 to 4, Narad glorifies Vyasadeva. Whatever Vyasadev's work he has done, dividing the Vedas, writing the Puranas, Mahabharata, etc. and then inquires about his dissatisfaction. Also, text 5 to 7, Vyasadeva admits his dissatisfaction and he glorifies Narad and inquire about his deficiency. And then 8 and 9 verse describes two defects in Vyasadeva's work. One is insufficient glorification of Lord, and second reason is overemphasis of four Purusarthas. So this is the subject matter we're going to learn today. So let me get started. We will share this book with you here. Okay, so Shrimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Verse 1, where Sutta is saying, Sutta uvacha atham tam sukhamasena upasinam brahutsravaha devarshihi praviparshim vinapanehi smayan eva. So in this verse, Devarshi and Viprasi is important also. Devarshi means the Rusi among the demigod, and Viprasi means the Rusi. Rusi among Vipra means Brahman. Dev means demigod. So Devarshi is Rusi among demigod, who is Narada, and Viprasi is Rusi among Vipra means Brahman, and that is Vyasadeva. So basically, we will see today conversation between Narada and Vyas through the medium of Sutta Goswami, because Sutta is telling to Saunaka this story. This conversation of Narada and Vyasdev is described by Sutta Goswami to Saunaka in Naimisharanya. So the translation of this verse is Sutta Goswami said, thus, the sage among gods, Narada, see that Devarshi is the word there. He's the Rushi of the Deva, demigod is Narada. Comfortably seated and apparently addressed the Rusi among Brahmanas. Viprasi is that is Vyasdev. So Devarshi is Narad, Viprasi is Vyas. Okay. So here it is said, let me see. Narad was smiling because he well knew the great sage Vyasdev and the cause of his disappointment. That is the reason for Narad was smiling. Why Narad was smiling? Because he knew why Vyasdev is disappointed. As he will explain gradually, Vyasadeva's disappointment was due to the insufficiency in presenting the science of devotional service. Narad knew the defect, and it was confirmed by the position of Vyas, which we will see. So from text 1 to 4, we'll see that Narad basically glorifies the Vyasadeva's work. So we go to next verse, we'll say that what Narad says there. Okay, so here it is. Narada Uvacha Devarshi Narad. That's why we sometimes say Devarshi Narad, because he is Rusi among demigod. So Narada is saying, Narada Uvacha Parasarya Mahabhaga Bhavataha Kaschida Atmana Paritushyati Sarira Atma Manasa Evava. So it is said here, Narad is addressing Vyasdev, Devarshi addressing Viprasi. And who is Vyasdev? He is given son of Parasar Muni. Parasarya means son of Parasar Muni. So Narad inquired. What did he inquire? He says to Narad that, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as the object of self-realization? Because Narad understanding and the conclusion of literature that he wrote was that he was pairing body and mind with the soul. which is not the case. So here it is written that this was hint that Narad to Vyasdev regarding the cause of his despondency. Despondency means dissatisfaction. Remember, in the yesterday we learned that after compiling or writing so many Puranas, Mahabharata, Upanishad, he was not happy. He was not satisfied himself. So disappointed. So Narad to Vyas, that is a hint here. What the question that Narad asked here. Vyasdev, as the descendant of Parasar, a greatly powerful sage, Parasar was a very great powerful sage, had the privilege of having a great parentage, which should not have been, which should have given Vyasdev cause for despondency. Being a great son of great father, he should not have identified the self with the body or the mind. So basically, what was Narad doing? It gives the hint here. Vyas. Vyas was identifying body or soul with the, body and mind with the soul. And that was his defect. Okay. So ordinary man with a poor fund of knowledge can identify the body as self or the mind as self. But Vyasdev should not have done so. One cannot be cheerful by nature unless one is factually seated in self-realization, which is transcendental to the material body and mind. Which means, so here Narad further saying that jigyasitam susampannam api te mahadadbhutam krutvan bharatam yastvam sarvartha paribruhitam. Narad says to Vyas, your inquiries were full and your studies were also well fulfilled. And there is no doubt that you have prepared a great and wonderful work, the Mahabharata, which is full of all kinds of Vedic sequences elaborately explained. The despondency of Vyasdev was certainly not due to his lack of sufficient knowledge, because as a student, he had fully inquired about the Vedic literature, as a result of which the Mahabharata is compiled with full expansion of the Vedas. So I'll take one more verse and then I will explain it to you. In this verse, he is saying, Jigyasitam aditam cha Brahma yattat sanatanam tathapi sauchasi atmanam akrutartham iva prabho. So, Narad further saying, you have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. Why should you be despondent in spite of all this, thinking that you are undone, my dear Prabhu? So, saying Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra means Vedanta Sutra is same as Brahma Sutra. Okay, there is no difference between Vedanta Sutra and Brahma Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is Brahma Sutra, compiled by Sri Vyasdev, is the full deliberation of the impersonal absolute feature, and it is accepted as the most exalted philosophical exposition in the world. It covers the subject of eternity, and the methods are scholarly, so there cannot be any doubt about the transcendental scholarship of Vyasdev. So why should he lament? So to explain this, 4 verses, Narad's beginning inquires from Vyasdev. And so what is happening is Srila Vyasadeva, from the previous chapter, we learned that Narad came when he was contemplating, meditating on why I'm not happy. At that very moment, the Narad came to his cottage. So after being welcome and seated, Narad smiled. We see that in first verse. He knew the cause of Vyas' disappointment, and his first words hinted at the solution. What did he say in second verse? Are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as object of self-realization? So that is the thing. Um, After welcoming him, worshipped him, Narad Muni was seated comfortably. He had slight smile on his face. Why? Because he knew that why Vyasdev was not satisfied. He knew his defect. Therefore, Narad inquired. What did he inquire? He said, are you feeling satisfied now? You have written so many religious scriptures, divided Vedas. We learned that in the previous yesterday, right? One Veda into four Vedas. Written Puranas, histories like Mahabharata, showing people how to become materially happy and eventually to merge with Lord Krishna's light in a say Brahman, like the Brahman realization. There are three phases of realization in which Brahman is the first, then Paramatma is the second, and Bhagavan is the third one. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this was a hint by Narad to his disciple, Vyasdev, of where he had gone wrong. Then Narad continued speaking to Vyasdev. He says, actually he praised Vyasdev. He said that you researched and studied the Vedas fully, and your work was very thorough and wonderful. It explains the Vedas entirely. It was all very scholarly and thoroughly written, and you have revealed to everyone the light of impersonal Brahman. So, why do you feel so dissatisfied despite all this? That is, he was saying. So, now Vyasdev replies in the next verse. We will see how it goes. So, next three verses, Vyasdev admit his dissatisfaction. He glorifies Narad and inquires about his deficiency, where he went wrong. You know. So here now Vyasa Uvacha. Vyasdev is saying, what is saying? Asteva me sarvamidam tvayoktam tathapi natma paritushyate me tanmulam avyaktam agada bodham pruchhamahe tvamatvavatma bhutam. So he says, Sri Vyasadev said, that is his question. All you have said about me is perfectly correct. So he admitted his mistake. And he admitted whatever Narad told him. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I'm not still happy, he says. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. So now he's requesting Narad that please tell me the cause of my dissatisfaction. Why he's telling Narad? Because Vyas is telling the reason. Because you are with Narad, you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of Brahma, who is self-born without mundane and father, without mundane father and mother. So we all know that Brahma was born without father mother on the lotus feet, which is came out from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu navel, right? We learn about that. So, and then from Brahma, Narad came. So Vyasadeva is saying that you are a man of unlimited knowledge. Why? Because you born from Brahma. You are offspring of Brahma. You born from Brahma, and Brahma is born without mundane, means material father mother. Because he did not have material father mother like we have. You know, uh, Brahma was born, or he appeared on a lotus flower. which was coming out from the uh, navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. There is a stem on top, there is a lotus flower, and he appeared there. So he's saying that now Prabhupada explains that in the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. That is normally we do, right? We don't identify, we have to learn. Now we learn from the Bhagavad Gita that we are not this body. You all know about this, which basic philosophy, basic principle given in Bhagavad Gita also, which Krishna tells to Arjuna that you are not your body, you are soul. So that is the thing here. In the material world, everyone is encouraged with the idea of identifying body or mind with the self, which is not the case. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind. And that is the root cause of all despondency. We are also sometimes not satisfied because that is the reason. We sometimes forget that we are soul. We understand that we are body, or mind, but it is not the case. So uh, it is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narad to solve the root cause of all despondency. Why Narad should be approached is explained below. So this is also a learning lesson for us, living entity, conditioned soul, that just like Vyasdev approached the Narad, his spiritual master, we should also approach our spiritual master in case of difficulty, in case of we are not dissatisfied. And if we do not have spiritual master, we should have spiritual masters. We should look around. We don't have to uh, take it immediately. We have to look for a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him. So that is a hint given here. Just like Vyasdev seeking help from Narada, his spiritual master, we also, when we get that situation, we also, if we have a spiritual master, we can go to him and ask about our dissatisfaction or whatever problem we may have. Okay. So in the next verse now, let us see what Vyasa was saying. He says, Savai Bhavan Ved Samasta Guya Upasito Yat Purusa Purana Paravareso Manasaiva Viswam Srujyatyava Patti Gunaira Sangaha. My Lord, everything. So this is Vyasdev addressing Narad Muni, my Lord. So supreme spiritual master, you address him with the Lord, because it is said, it's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Sakshat Haritvana Samasta Sastra. We should consider spiritual master as good as Lord, but he is not Lord himself. He should not believe that he is Lord. We as a disciple believe him as a Lord, same as Lord, and we honor him same as Lord. Why we honor him like that? Because he's dear to Lord. That is the point. Okay. So everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of a Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. So Vyasdev is giving reason here. Uh, Everything that is mysterious is known to you. Means Narad is knower of everything. That is what it means, all the mystery he knows. And why he know? The reason is given. Because he worships Lord, uh, personality of Godhead, which is Krishna. Why? Because he is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the uh, destroyer of this material world, right? Krishna doesn't do himself, but through his expansion, Karanodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Ksharodakshai Vishnu, right? So through his expansion, he destroys the world, he creates the world, he maintains the world. There is a three Murti, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right? He takes these three forms. Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, and Lord Shiva destroys this material world at the time of annihilation. So that is given here. So a person who is 100% engaged in the service of Lord is the emblem of all knowledge. Such a devotee of the Lord in full perfection of devotional service is also perfect by the qualification of the personality of Godhead. As such, the eightfold perfections, mystic power, Asta Siddhi, Asta is eight and Siddhi is perfection, Asta Siddhi, constitute very little of his godly opulence. A devotee like Narad can act wonderfully by spiritual perfection, which every individual is trying to attain. Srila Narad is 100% perfect living being, although not equal to personality of God, but he is a perfect being. That is what is said here. So let's see, in the next verse, Narad is saying, Tam paryatan arka iva trilokim antascharo vayur ivatma sakshi paravare brahmani dharmato vrataihi snatasya me nyunam aham vichaksha. So here it is said that he is comparing, he is glorifying the Narad Muni in this verse. What Vyasadeva is saying? That like the sun, your goodness can travel everywhere in the three worlds. So that way he's glorifying Narada. He said like sun can travel the whole universe, right? So similarly, Narad is also have a capacity of traveling to go to all three planetary system, upper, lower, middle, He goes everywhere. He goes to Swarga, he goes to Hellish planet, he go to Bur, Bua, Swaha, all this planet and all the spiritual planet also. And like air, you can penetrate internal region of everyone. Like air can get anywhere, right? In any hole, air can penetrate. So similarly, Narad can go, he has access everywhere. As such, you are as good as all pervasive super soul. Please therefore find out the deficiency in me, despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulations and vows. So in these three verses, what we saw, that Vyasadeva admits his dissatisfaction, he glorifies Narad and inquires about his deficiency, right? So Vyasadeva is very humble, and very humbly he is admitting. He said, yes, my sir, my dear spiritual master, all you have said so far is correct. Despite all this work, I am still feeling unhappy. Please tell me what is causing my unhappiness. You know everything because you worship Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you are spiritually perfect being. This means you can really understand people's heart. So please tell me why I am feeling deficient. Even though I am strictly following all the rules and regulations of the scripture. So here we can reflect on this situation about the conversation between Narad and Vyas, that in the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind, with the self. So actually, all knowledge we get in the material world is related with the body or with the mind. And that is the root cause of dissatisfaction, which is not always detected. Therefore, one has to approach a spiritual master like Narad to to solve the problem, even if he is a great scholar in materialistic knowledge. We still need to approach spiritual master. And that process is also described in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasthena sevaya Upadekshante jnanam gnaninas tattvadarshinaha. He says that you have to approach spiritual master with three things you have to remember. Pranipat means surrender. Pariprasna means you have to inquire submissively. And sevya means you have to serve your spiritual master. So that vidhi is given, tad vidhi. Pranipatena, pariprasnena, sevaya. Upadekshante te jnanam gnani. Because he is tattvadarshi, just like Narad Muni is tattvadarshi here, he's knower of everything, he's perfect being, So that way, spiritual master also supposed to be tattvadarshi. So when we select spiritual master, we have to understand that he is a tattvadarshi. So, and now in the last two verses, there is two defects of Vyasadeva's work is described, which we will go through now, and we'll give you a little bit explanation on that. The next verse is 8. Narada Uvacha. Narada is pointing out his defect now. Okay. So Narada Uvacha Bhavatanu Prayam Yaso Bhagavato Amalam Enai Vaso Natushet Manye Tadarshanam Khilam. So Narada Muni is saying, Sri Narad said, you have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of personality of Godhead. That is reason number one. You have not actually broadcast. Means you haven't described, like that. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. What is trying to say that if you do not satisfy the Lord, then everything is not good at all. Okay, so here we will little bit about the purport to understand this, and then I'll explain to you. The eternal relation of an individual soul with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is constitutionally one of being the eternal servitor of the eternal master. So that is, we learn about that thing, that we are this servant of Lord. Lord is master, we are his servant. That is our relationship. The Lord has expanded himself as living being in order to accept loving service from them. And this alone can satisfy both the Lord and the living being. Such a scholar as Vyasadeva has completed many expansions of the Vedic literature, ending with the Vedanta philosophy, but none of them have been written directly glorifying the personality of Godhead. Dry philosophical speculation, even on the transcendental subject of the Absolute, have very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. The personality of a Godhead is the last word in the transcendental realization. Like Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan is the last word. The absolute realized as impersonal Brahman or localized supersoul Paramatma is less productive of transcendental bliss than the supreme personal realization of it. What he's trying to say here is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, out of that, Bhagavan realizes the highest, and it is better than the Brahman and Paramatma realization. Okay. The compiler of Vedanta Darshan is Vyasadeva himself, yet he is troubled, although he is the author. So, what sort of transcendental bliss can be derived by the readers and listeners of Vedanta Sutra, which is not explained directly by the Vyasadeva, the author? Herein arises the necessity of explaining Vedanta Sutra in the form of Shrimad Bhagwatam by the same author. So, that is the root reason, for getting Srimad Bhagavatam to be written. So we'll read the next verse as well, and then we will wrap it up. Where he says, Yatha dharmat daschartha muni varyanu kirtitaha na tatha vasudevasya mahimahi anuvarnitaha. So in this verse, Narada Muni gives the second reason. We'll see, so there are two reasons, right? There are Okay, so although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances. You have not described the glories of Supreme Personality, Vasudeva. That is the main reason this Narad Muni is deriving it. Okay, he's saying that the prompt diagnosis of Narad is at once declared. The root cause of the despondency of Vyasadeva was his deliberate avoidance of glorifying the Lord in his various editions of Puranas. He has certainly, as a matter of course, given descriptions of the glories of Lord Sri Krishna, but not as many as given to religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, elevation. In other words, he has described these four principles, okay, religiosity in dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. That is in Sanskrit, but in English it's religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. This is known as dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These four items are by far inferior to engagement, and Lord Vyasadeva has given importance to these four items than the devotional service to the Lord. That is the main thing. Okay, so from this it is clearly indicated that no one can be pleased substantially without being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, this fact is clearly mentioned also. So basically, after liberation, which is the last item in the line of performing religiosity, etc., one is engaged in pure devotional service. This is called the stage of self-realization. Okay? This is what we want to derive this thing. So this is the instruction of the personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita as well. The conclusion is that in order to maintain the status quo of the Brahma Bhuta stage, as also to increase the degree of transcendental realization, Narada recommended to Vyasadeva that he should now eagerly and repeatedly describe the path of devotional service. This would cure him from gross despondency. So here Narada is giving the solution to it, right? So Narada reveals to Vyas the importance of describing Krishna's pastime, basically. And he says that, oh Vyasdev, you have not described the glories of Lord Krishna. Any philosophy, even from the Vedas, that does not give pleasure to Lord Krishna is considered worthless. So you have thoroughly explained the four principles of righteousness, and that is religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Those four things. But you have not described the glories of Krishna. That is his past. What is glories of Krishna means? His pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, which attract the conditioned soul, you know. So these four items are by far inferior to engagement in devotional service of the Lord. And it is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as it is be concluded here. Okay. So basically, we should end here as far as our lesson is concerned, lesson 24, in which we had described. Also, there are two defects. How many defects that Narad pointed out in Vyasadeva? Mainly two. Insufficiency of glorification of Lord, and the other one is he overemphasized these four principles of religiosity, economic development, and the desire, you know, the dharma, artha, kam, and moksha, like that. Okay. So now we will today Shivaratri, right? Everybody knows that today is Shivaratri. So I will tell you one verse that we can all recite together, and then you can ask the questions, okay, before you play the Kahoot game. So there is a new verse that I'm gonna tell you today is, if you all can recite after me, you will learn quickly. Okay, are you ready to recite the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. So that particular verse says, Karapura Gauram Karunavataram
Karpuragauram Karunavagoram
Karpuragauram Karunavataram
Karpuragauram
Karunavagoram
Sansarasaram Bhujagendraharam
Samsarasaram
Gandham
Sansarasaram Bhujagendraharam
Samsarasaram
Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami
Bhavani
Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. One more time. Today is Shivratri, so we're gonna celebrate Shivratri by glorifying Lord Shiva by this mantra, this verse. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Very good. So since today is Shivratri, Lord Shiva's, you can say birthday or his marriage day, same. So I will little bit tell you about Lord Shiva's person, okay? You have heard about Varanasi, is the holy city of Lord Shiva in India. Varanasi is the oldest city in the world. The Lord Shiva, the meaning of Lord Shiva itself is pure or auspicious. Lord Shiva has 3 eyes. Okay, you know that? 1, 2, and 3. 3 eyes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So and
then for looking at one of them, if it opens rarely,
yeah,
and if it's opened, the whole world destruction will happen.
Destruction. Very good, very good. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, not whole lot, just couple minutes, and then you can ask me questions. Okay. So Ganges flow through his matted hair. Okay. Everybody knows that how Ganga came to this material world. Okay. Now Lord Shiva has a crescent moon. You see, when you see Lord Shiva's, there is a like a moon crescent, little bit portion of moon, on his head. Therefore, his name is also Chandrasekhar or Chandramauli. Sometimes we call Lord Shiva Chandramauli or Chandrasekhar. Means having the moon as his crest. Okay. Now, relation with Ganges river and tiger skin, serpent, deer, trident, drum, Nandi, Gan, Mount Kailas, Varanasi. So Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva is already, these are his associates, like, or the way he dress himself is deer skin, he has a serpent, trident, drum, Nandi, like that, He is also known as Gangadhar because he held Ganges in his matted hair. Now, the tiger skin indicates that Lord Shiva has conquered lust. That is the understanding that Acharya gives us. And serpent, the snake, denotes the wisdom and eternity. And trident indicates 3 guna. Because trident has a 3 prong, right? So one is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Like it indicates 3 modes of material nature. Now his son Ganesh was chosen leader of Gana. Gana means his associates. And he's called, that's why Ganapati. Lord Ganesh is Ganapati because he is the leader of Ganas. Lord Shiva's wife Parvati, he has two sons, Ganesh and Kartikeya. You know, the Kartikeya's Vahan is peacock, means carrier, and Ganesh carrier is mouse. The Mahasivratri is the night Shiva had performed Tandav Nrutya. So today, on this very auspicious day, Mahasivratri, we honor Lord Shiva as a great Vaishnava. You know, Yathanam, Vaishnava Nam Yatha Sambhu. He is the greatest Vaishnava. And we are in Vaishnava philosophy, we worship him as a greatest Vaishnava. He is not a Lord, you know, because he worships Lord Krishna, but we worship as a greatest Vaishnava. We honor Lord Shiva as the greatest Vaishnava and as our Guru, and we pray Lord Shiva that our Krishna bhakti will increase. That is our intention, to pray Lord Shiva. We observe Shivratri and glorify him in connection to his relationship with Sri Krishna. He is a gatekeeper of Vrindavan as a Gopeshwar Mahadev. There is a Gopeshwar Mahadev in Vrindavan. There is a Chintaharan Mahadev, there is a Bhuteswar Mahadev, and there is a Chakleswar Mahadev. Mahadev is he's guarding Lord Krishna's holy dham, you know. So Lord Shiva is a partial manifestation of Sada Shiva. You know, there is a Sada Shiva, and Sada Shiva is Krishna's plenary portion of expansion. So the principal tattva of Shiva tattva is extremely complex. So we will not go too much detail into it at this point. But after passing through 8 material covering Virja river and the planet of Lord Brahma, one comes to the planet of Lord Shiva. There he is known as Sada Shiva, different name, a manifestation of Lord Vishnu. So that Sada Shiva is manifestation of Vishnu. And then Lord Shiva is manifestation of Sada Shiva. Okay. The Shiva Tattva can be understood by the analogy of yogurt and milk that is given in Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma. He said the example is given in order to convey the idea of cause and effect, not the idea of transformation. You know, see, that is why it is compared that Lord Krishna is compared with milk and Lord Shiva is compared with yogurt. So when milk, if you see in our ordinary life, when we put something acidic thing in milk, it becomes yogurt. But then yogurt does not become milk. So similarly, from Krishna, by amalgamation, it becomes Lord Shiva, but Shiva doesn't become Krishna. So there is a difference between Lord Shiva and they are not the same. That is all we need to understand. Okay. So that is all I will say about it today. Now you can ask me questions from whatever we have learned today, and then you can play the Kahoot game. Okay?
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes.
What is Tattva Darshina mean?
Tattva means the one who knows the intricacy of real religion. Okay? Tattva, in a sense, when we say tattva, that means you know the root meaning of the dharma, religion. You know, because like Jiva Goswami has tattva sandarbha, you know, to explain by analysis this material world, spiritual world, to understand the how material world is operating and how spiritual world is, you know, and what is the relationship and everything. That is called tattva.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have also one more question. What does Tadvidhi mean?
Sadbuddhi means
Tadvidhi.
sad means good and buddhi
No,
means
Tadvidhi. Like
Yeah,
Tadvidhi
Tadvidhi.
Prasthina.
good,
Tadvidhi.
Tadvidhi.
good intelligence is called sadbuddhi. Okay. Good
Okay.
intelligence. Okay. Next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question.
Okay.
So, like,
Can you speak a little louder? I cannot hear you well.
can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
So, if Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Krishna, like he's the incarnation as a devotee and a sage of Brahmanas, like he's the rishi of the Brahman, like the leader of the Brahmanas, then if Krishna knows everything, like when he's going to incarnate on the earth and when what leelas he will do and what
Mega, you are breaking up. I don't know your.
The voice is kind of low.
Yeah, you're breaking up. I have a hard time to understand you.
Prabhuji, I'll connect from another device.
Hare Krishna.
Mihika, the chat is open. If you type in your question in there, then probably you can get it if you put it there.
Mihika is the host, so she can.
The microphone is not working properly. Mihika.
I think she's gonna type in the
Okay,
chat.
meanwhile, somebody else can.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this is Nehasri, and I have a question. What is the difference between sage and rishi? Are they both the same or are they different?
No, Devarshi means Rusi among demigod, and Viprarshi means Rusi among Brahmanas.
I think she said a sage and
Rishi.
Yeah,
what is
Oh, sage and Rusi is same. No, there is not that much difference between sage. Sometimes address as a sage, sometimes address as a Rusi. Yeah.
Oh, so they're different names?
Yeah, but the same.
Rusi is the title, sort of a Rusi,
Like
sage.
sage is in English and
They
kind
are-
of like she's like in Sanskrit.
Yeah, they are honorary title. Okay. And both mean same thing.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You welcome. Hare Krishna. Next.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
This is Bhumi.
Yes.
Thank you for the nice class. I have 5 questions.
Okay.
So, how did Arjuna get the spiritual eyes? Did he do good karma in his past life?
No, Arjuna gave this divine vision because Krishna gave him divine vision.
And how did Arjuna become Krishna's cousin?
How did Arjuna?
Become Krishna's cousin.
Oh, Krishna's cousin. Oh, okay. Because Krishna's father, Vasudeva, and Arjuna's mother was Kunti. They were brother sister. Kunti and Vasudeva, they were brother sister, right? So it's like mama and Foy. You don't understand mama Foy? Maternal uncle and Bua. Right? So because Vasudeva and Kunti were brother sister, right? So they became cousin. Krishna and Arjun became cousin.
Okay.
In that case, all Pandavas are cousin, brother. Just like if you have your maternal uncle, right? So the sons of maternal uncle, they are your cousin brother, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how they are Krishna and Arjuna. In fact, all Pandavas are related like that to Krishna in relationship wise. Yeah.
How can we get mystic powers?
Mystic power you can get by Ashtanga yoga process.
What do we do even if we have done spiritual works and we haven't got to Krishna?
No, if you go to spiritual world, you will get to Krishna because Krishna lives there.
Okay. How long should a kid do tapasya to please Krishna?
How long tapasya? Well, Lord Krishna will be pleased more with bhakti than tapasya. If you perform the devotional service, Lord will be more pleased with bhakti than tapasya.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Prabhuji, can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
So my question is that if Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Krishna and he is the 17th incarnation of the Krishna, it was said in in the 3rd chapter
Yes.
of Shrimad Bhagwatam.
Yes.
So then Vyasadev already knew his mistakes. Like he already knew that he was lacking on glorifying the Lord, and he over explained the four things.
Yeah.
So if you already knew it, then was it only to prove for us that we should get guidance from a spiritual master, or we actually needed it? Needed Muni?
Yes, that is one thing. You're right, 100% right. That is one thing. But the main thing is that Krishna wanted to happen this thing. It was Krishna's internal desire to put them, Vyasadeva, into that position so that the Srimad Bhagavatam can be written, because that was not written until that point. So that is the whole reason how Srimad Bhagavatam is came about.
Okay, Prabhuji. And my second question is, I'm not sure, but Srimad Bhagavatam was written by Vyasadev before Dwapar Yuga, right?
At the end of the Dwapar Yuga.
Oh, so after Krishna performed his.
Yes.
After Krishna performed his duty.
Yes. After Krishna departed from the material world. So
okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So everybody's got their questions answered. So are you ready to go for Kahoot game now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I will be silent.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Your video is off.
Oh, my video is off. Okay, I'll turn. Yeah, I'll turn on my video. Okay. Dandavat pranams Prabhuji and Dandavat pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, kids, we can get started with Kahoot.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nice to have you over here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Beautiful question and answer session. I was listening to it for some time. Okay, now let me see how to share my screen. Okay, I'm able to share my screen here, and we will start to play. Please be ready.
We can't see the Kahoot. We just see like FaceTime.
Radhika Kasturi.
Oh, really?
You presented the wrong tab, Mataji.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I'm slowly learning. Bear with me. Thank you for telling me that. I wouldn't have known otherwise. The PIN number is 1393119. 1393119. Okay.
Wait, Mataji, could you X out NAND3? I accidentally wrote that.
Oh, okay. Okay, kids. How many are here today?
Mataji, can you wait for Mihika?
Yeah, I'll wait for you, Mihika. Okay, I'll have to have at least 9 of you all here, right? Thinking that will be good.
Mataji, can you wait for a minute?
Yes, Bhumi.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have everybody here now. Okay, let me get started.
Mataji, I was still getting in. When
Who's
I got
this?
I got
Oh,
10.
oh, you got in? Good, good. Because I saw 10 of them, I thought it was good enough. Why did Narada Muni smile? Because he's happy, because he knew Vyasadeva's cause for disappointment, because he's transcendental. Okay, yes, he is. He knows the reason for why Vyasadeva was in disappointment. Yash, Mihika, Jyotsna, Krishna Chinta, and Ramachandra. Second question for today. Who is the sage among demigods? Narada, Lord Brahma, or Lord Shiva? Who is the sage among the demigods? Yes, we are talking about the sage here. Okay, and Brahma is not. That is the difference. And Krishna Chinta has come up. We also see Ramachandra has come up. Others remain in the same position. Is mind or body same as the soul? True or false? Yes, they are different, right? And Krishna so many times says we are not, we, the human beings, the Jivatmas, we are not the body or the mind, but we are the soul. And Krishna Chinta is leading. He has 3 correct answers, followed by Ramachandra, and others, they remain in the same position. Okay, who compiled Mahabharata? Narada, Vyasadeva, Srila Prabhupada. Yes, wonderful job. It is Vyasadeva. Yash, you have 4 correct answers in a row. Wonderful job. The top 5 winners remain in the same position. Who compiled Vedanta Sutra? Vyasadeva, Narada, or Sukadev Goswami?
Mataji, I really don't know what compiled means.
Compiled means composed. Who wrote?
Wrote.
Okay.
Yeah. Who wrote? Okay. It is Vyasadeva again. Mihika has come up. Jyotsna has 5 correct answers. Congratulations, Jyotsna. Is Vedanta Sutra same as Brahma Sutra? True or false? Wonderful. It is true. And I think 5 people missed it. Jyotsna and Omkar has come up. 7th question. Who is the father of Narada Muni? Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna. Yes, it is Brahma. Okay, I'm sorry. Omkar has the highest answer streak of 7. Congratulations, Omkar. 8th question for today. Why Narada is 10% a perfect living being? Because he worships Brahma, because he worships Lord Shiva, because he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Yes, wonderful. Okay, Krishna Chinta, you have 8 correct answers. All right, 9th question for today. How many defects are there in Vyasadeva's work? 2, 3, or 4?
What does defects mean, Mataji?
Defects means issues or problems. Okay, so we have multiple people missing out on that. And Ramachandra,
Prabhuji never told this to us.
Yes, he did.
Prabhuji did tell us that.
Yeah,
Oh, I told.
it was true.
Okay. Prabhuji, did you want to clarify that, what the defects are? Hare Krishna.
Yes, I specify specifically there are 2 defects. One is that not enough glorification of Lord Krishna, and the second one is he overemphasized these 4 like religiosity, economic development, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, those 4 things.
Is it the thing that not when it says like it says part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, so I did mention that, that there's a 2.
Yeah, now I remember.
Remember? Yeah, okay. So some of them you can remember, some of them not, but I did mention about 2 defects that Narada Muni has in his work. Sorry, Vyasadeva has in his work. Yeah, sorry.
Correct. So, yeah, we have previous questions also where Prabhuji had asked about, what did what did Vyasadeva feel as disappointment, right? And he did not glorify the Lord enough was the answer. And
Yes.
now Prabhuji clarified that the other defect was Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha was overstressed, but devotional aspect was not stressed much.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now we have Ramachandra, Jyotsna, and Omkar. They have come up. And Kushi has an answer streak of 3. Last question for today. What is the root cause of Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction? Not glorifying the Lord enough or not glorifying the demigods enough? Yeah,
Prabhuji gave it away.
gave it away. Got
Yeah.
it. Everybody got it right.
Yeah.
But we had this also as a previous question, right? Even though this was... So good job, kids. I think most of you all scored very well. Omkar is in the 3rd place. We have 2nd place, Jyotsna. She also got 10 upon 10. And 1st place is Ramachandra. Okay, these are the winners for today, followed by runners-up Krishna Chinta and Mihika. Congratulations. Okay, let's view the report here. And how many players? 10, 11 players. Okay. Most of you all got 100% today. Don't know, like yesterday, okay. All right. Okay, see, 6th place, Yash, Bhumi, Kushi, Nandini, Suraj, and no problem place, NP place. I don't know who that is. Okay, here are the scores, kids. Hope you're all okay. Okay. All right. So if you don't have any...
11, 10 got 70 and up, which is very good. Only one has 60%, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, pretty good results today. Very, very good. All of them listen very attentively to your class, it looks like. Beautiful scores. Okay. All right, kids, we are going to adjourn for today with folded hands. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Shri